Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is NtR, and today we are going to have a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Our heroes today are going to be a crowd favorite, and that is Mr. NtRs Ippert, once again playing for us as the Soviets. And facing him is a familiar face, probably from last cast, and that is going to be Blitz, playing for the Germans. So, again, pretty good players. I didn't actually check it out, but I can do it on the fly. Let me get that real quick for you. And that is going to be the ranks. So, Ippert, as a Soviet, is currently ranked around the 100s, 123, as far as I can tell. And Blitz is 152 for the Germans. So, pretty evenly matched. We should be expecting a rather good game. So, enough of that, back to the game. As far as teching goes, we see that Blitz already selected his doctrine, and that is the Mechanized Assault Doctrine, and, well, he's getting himself Assault Grenadiers, and we see that Assault Grenadier squad down south. As far as Ippert, he is doing the Huge, and that is getting conscripts for the Soviets, and we see both the conscripts and combat engineers heading towards the southern portion of the map, combat engineers capturing that fuel point. Conscripts heading onto the munitions, and they are going to run into those Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are going to run right on top of them and probably gain the advantage. So the conscripts are going to need to back off a little bit to get support, at least by those Grens. There is a second conscript float coming up, but it is currently running down the road. Down goes one conscript to those Assault Grenadiers. 5 on 5 is not a favorable position. One more conscript falls to those SMGs. The engineers decide to run away from those Assault Grens, and the conscripts are forced off of the field. And that is the power of the Assault Grenadiers. Second conscript squad on the field, they do just take up positions on heavy cover, anticipating the Assault Grenadiers moving against them, but the Assault Grenadiers decide to stop and simply capture the fuel. It's an okay choice considering the conscripts were already there, and not a bad anticipation by Ippert, however, though, because the cutoff point is usually what people go for. So the conscript squad pushing forward, they do run into those Assault Grenadiers, taking some shots. They decide to back off and get into heavy cover and fight those Assault Grenadiers from a distance. That is the correct choice against Assault Grenadiers, that is. Assault Grenadiers pushing forward, they get to some sort of light cover, but now we have two conscript squads against one Assault Grenadier. This is the optimal situation, and this other conscript squad is actually behind the Assault Grenadiers, so they're actually going to do a lot of damage to them. That heavy cover is completely denied. Assault Grenadiers push on forward now outside of cover in all directions. Conscripts still at 6 men, throwing a lot of damage. Molotov's already researched for Ippert. We'll see if he uses one here. No, he decides to just stick it out and beat him just man to man. Combat engineers just continue to capture territory, and we have the second Assault Grenadier squad for Blitz moving in to replace the one that is currently retreating. So, again, basic or standard build order that we see for Ippert, and that is 3 conscripts into Molotovs. We'll see what he follows that up with. Normally it's more conscripts. We'll see if that is same in this game. Assault Grenadiers going for the cutoff point. They will be able to decap it, and we have conscripts what's around them, but they are not optimally positioned to be able to push them off. First conscript squad actually goes to the center victory point. The one on the south comes up to the tank to get some heavy cover and engage those Assault Grenadiers. Assault Grenadiers finish capturing that point and are simply going to rush those conscripts. They're going to get into heavy cover right in front of them and lay in the herd with those SMGs. Nice Molotov landing there on the Assault Grenadiers, doing a lot of damage. Down goes one conscript Assault Grenadiers. One of them actually gets burned alive, but the conscripts decide to just run away after seeing that the Molotov didn't do a lot of damage. At least not enough damage to the point where he needed it to be. Reinforced conscripts getting back onto the field. We see a Pioneer squad going for the strategic point in front of Ippert's base, and those conscripts are probably going to run straight into them. Center of the map, we have Assault Grenadiers versus conscripts. These Assault Grenadiers are pretty battered. Down to 2 men, actually, against 4 from the conscripts. Down goes a Molotov, doing some good damage to those Assault Grens. They're actually right at the edge. I think they're taking damage. This one might be. And down to 2 men on the retreat. It looks like they're going to be able to make it alive. The conscripts did get brought down to 3 men. Over here on the strategic point outside of Blitz space, we have combat engineers and pioneers fighting at close range. The Pios are down to 3 men, down to 2 actually, so the combat engineers should be able to win that fight. And in front of Ippert's base, we see conscript squad retreating at 2 men, and this other one engaging those pioneers, just recapturing territory. Half track now on the field for Blitz, so he went straight for tier 2. Very nice. And we will probably see a flamethrower being upgraded on that half track immediately. And a very nice skin there for Blitz. Forget what it's called, but very nice. Doctrine already selected for Ippert. He saw that half track and selected himself the guard rifle combined arms tactics. Very nice. It is what we've seen him use, select in the previous games as well. But I believe it is the well, a decent choice in this situation, considering that he just saw the half track hit the field. So those guard rifles will be quite useful. Up to 4 conscript squads right now on the field for Ippert. We'll see if he goes for the 5th one or is going to supplement that with a guard. No, he actually goes for a 5th conscript, although looks like it's back. Oh, okay. So 18-8's getting upgraded by Ippert again. That I actually missed that. I mean, I know a lot of Company Heroes players don't even like the mention of StarCraft, but I miss, especially from Company Heroes 1, I miss the global upgrades, like, you know, the Molotovs and 18-8s that I know they only apply to conscripts, but I like that type of play, that type of reaction where, oh, you see something on the field and you can hit this, you know, this research upgrade to start researching to, you know, that's a reactionary thing. I don't know. I like that kind of play, and unfortunately there isn't much of that in Company Heroes 2, because those are really the only global upgrades that you can get for the Soviets. I mean, there are units that you can produce and getting tiers, but no direct upgrades, I guess you could say. Ooh, very nice use there of the assault grenades on those assault grenadiers to actually clear out an entire conscript squad. Very nice. And one conscript squad ends up at 2 men. While I was talking, though, the conscripts did end up tossing multiple 18-8s on that half track and took it out with small arm fire, so very nice. But, well, that came at the loss of one of those conscript squads, so, you know, win some, lose some, give and take. I think a conscript squad for a half track, though, is a decent trade-off, so, yeah, I mean, sucks to have lost that conscript squad for Ippert, but overall I think it was a victory for him. Assault Grenadiers do end up getting pushed off, but those Assault Grenadiers actually get themselves Vet 2, having killed that entire conscript squad, so very nice. Those Assault Grenadiers will be quite deadly to Ippert's forces, especially those conscripts. They do have the ability to get PPSHs soon, but they don't have it yet, so in the meantime they are still going to be quite vulnerable to those Assault Grenadiers. So right now we should see units capturing. We have Pioneers capturing down south. They're going to go for the fuel of Ippert. These conscripts are capturing that munitions, and if they stay there for an extra second, they will see those Pios capture the fuel, but it looks like they're not going to be able to do that. Do they stop and turn back? No, they don't. Up north we see combat engineers retreating in the face of assault Grens. Very wise choice there, considering they can't really do anything against those Grens. And we have conscript squads heading into the center. They're going to run into Pios. Tier 3 now on the field for Blitz. Very nice. We shall see if he gets himself a Flak Panzer or a Panzer IV. Flak Panzer would be the ideal choice for Blitz right now, considering what is in the field for Ippert. But some players decide to get themselves Panzer IVs because it's a more well-rounded unit, you know, capable of dealing with most stuff. So we'll see. Panzer Grenadier is actually getting produced for Blitz, so he's still not getting anything from his Tier 3. He doesn't have the fuel for it, though, so not a bad choice. Very strong infantry unit, and, well, can't say it really complements Assault Grens. It's more of the same, I guess you could say, but, you know, they are still pretty strong, especially against conscripts. More Assault Grens just pushing on to conscripts. Conscripts actually getting Vet 2 up north. This conscript squad throwing a Molotov on those Grens, doing some very nice damage, actually. One of them catches fire and brings the squad to about 75% health. Northern Conscript Squad does manage to force the retreat on that Assault Gren, but is now getting pushed by that Vet 2 Assault Grenadier squad, and it decides to retreat. Not taking too much damage. Tier 2 now produced for Ippert, and usually we've seen him go Tier 1, if I'm not mistaken. So we shall see if his strategy diverts a little bit from the previous ones, because if I'm not mistaken, we saw him use Su-85s, Tier 1, Tier 4, but we'll see. Panzer Grenadiers hitting the field right on top of a vanilla conscript squad. This conscript squad retreats immediately, actually dodging a bundle nade very nicely. They will take some damage by those Assault Grens and the Panzer Grenadiers, but I think, no, actually one of them falls dead. I thought they might actually make it out alive, you know, intact, but unfortunately that guy decided to take a bullet to the face, so, you know, whatever. Conscripts getting reinforced, push back onto the field. We do have medics on the field for Ippert, but he decides to push out without getting fully healed up. But, you know, not bad. It's about 90% health, so it's nothing too critical. PPSH is getting upgraded on all the conscript squads for Ippert. And we now see Tier 3 being used, so interesting. We're going to see a new strategy for Ippert. Well, not a new, but something different from what we've seen before. So we are going to probably expect some T-34s. Doesn't have enough fuel, though, to produce anything right now, so we'll see what the follow-up is. PPSH equipped conscripts right on top of those assault grens, doing a lot of damage up close. Assault grens do have Vet 2, though, so that gives them increased armor. They do fall down to 3 men on the retreat. And conscripts down south do push away a Pioneer squad, and they're going against the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers throw a very nice bundle nade anticipating the conscripts, but the conscripts actually stop and only take superficial damage. Very nice. Molotov landing on the P-Grens. They actually lose one of their men to that. More conscripts pushing down. They are facing against Assault Grens. 6 on 5. The conscripts do get Veteran C2 right as the battle begins, so that's actually going to give them the edge against these Assault Grens. And the Assault Grens do throw one measly grenade at them, doing not much, and they barely make it out alive. If this conscript squad had not retreated, they might have actually been able to finish it off, but they were down to 3 men in the face of those Panzer Grens. Panzer Grens pushing forward against the second conscript squad. Vet 2 conscript squad managing to do some good damage. Nice bundle nade, but they do dodge it quite nicely. One of the guys actually takes a decent amount of damage, but he's still alive. So far the infantry fights have been pretty spread out and pretty good. I mean, back and forth. Conscripts pushing forward, but we now have a Panzer IV on the field for Blitz, and Ippert still has nothing on the field to deal with it. We do see a guard rifle getting produced for Ippert. That is going to be a decent soft counter, I suppose you could say, to the Panzer IV. 18-8s on top of that can also, you know, do some decent damage to it, but it isn't a direct counter. We do have a Tier 2, though, for Ippert, so we can very easily build AT guns and at least keep that Panzer IV at bay, or even kill it if it gets too cocky. Very nice skin there by Blitz. I don't know what it's called, so I can't really name it at the top of my head. Let me see if I can actually find out what it is while the game is going on.
We're builders, not killers. Why are they shooting at us?
Panzer IV is just down there. We see more conscript squad moving forward. The Guards rifle going down south. We'll see if they engage that. No engagements going on so far. So let's get a quick look at that store page. Yes. Why do you ask for my birthday every time? Skins. And that is disruptive pattern, looks like. And it looks like they might have actually gotten the bundle for all type of vehicles, but very nice. Pioneers pushing forward onto the cutoff point. We see mines getting laid down by Ippert. Very nice. Those Payos get mauled by all the infantry there, and they force on the retreat. So right now we see Blitz just a little bit staying at range with his Panzer IV, not pushing forward. There are 2 Guards rifle down on the field for Ippert, so he's laying mines and using Guards rifles to have that counter on the field. No AT guns so far, and he still doesn't have enough fuel to get a T-34. Getting very close, but not yet. Up north we see some assault nades falling right in front of the conscripts. The conscripts actually take no damage to them, so a little bit of a whiff there on the nade. I suppose Blitz was expecting those conscripts to push on forward to the heavy cover here, but they decided to stop and just throw Molotov. Conscripts taking a beating by that Vet 2 Assault Gren, down to 2 men. They are forced off, but the other conscript squad is Vet 2, so they should actually be able to push on forward and do a lot of damage to those Assault Grens. Panzer Grenadiers capturing that fuel. We have conscripts pushing forward, throwing an 18-8 on that the Panzer IV. Actually gets a crit on the engine. That engine is damaged, and 2 Guards rifle are actually doing a lot of damage to that Panzer IV. They're hitting the side armor, getting very nice penetrations, and they are continuing to shoot. They don't actually have DP light machine guns, so they can't get the buttoning off right now. But both squads are continuing to shoot. The Panzer IV has not actually killed anybody. Down goes one of those Guards rifles, but Pioneers are moving into the field to try to repair the Panzer IV. The Guards rifles are pursuing, but the Panzer Grenadiers are right behind him, doing a lot of damage, and they are forced on the retreat. T-34 now on the field for Ippert. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the ability to mark vehicles, so that's going to be difficult for the T-34 to take out the Panzer IV by itself. But, like, if it were able to get at it right now, it might have a decent shot. Assault Grenades do capture that cutoff point once again, but the fuel point is no longer in Ippert's possession anyway, so it doesn't really matter much. Conscripts pushing forward against those Assault Grenades, and T-34 is moving down south to start doing some damage on the infantry. Nice Assault Grenades there by those Assault Grenadiers, taking a nasty shot by that T-34 and forced to retreat at 2 men. Conscripts at 4 men now, Veteran C3. Only Veteran C3 squad on the field right now. So we now have a second Panzer IV being produced for Blitz, so this is going to be quite tough for Ippert to deal with. Up north we have Panzer Grenadier squad down to 1 man on the retreat against a 2-man Vet2 conscript squad. Very lucky both squads to still be alive. Assault Grenades in the center, gonna get... No, the T-34 is actually going south. It looks like he wants to face off against Panzer Grenades. Panzer Grenades don't really have a way to deal with that T-34 right now unless they get upgraded with Panzer Shreks. Panzer IV now fully repaired, heading against that T-34. T-34 takes a shot by that Panzer IV in the frontal armor, doing about 20% damage. It backs off, takes a shot at the Panzer IV, actually penetrating the frontal armor, bringing it to about 90% health. Nasty shot by the Panzer IV on the side armor, does decent amount of damage, brings the T-34 to about 50% health. Third shot actually misses. 18-8 goes off on the Panzer IV, actually getting a crit on the engine, so the T-34 could actually use this as its opportunity. Conscripts taking some shots. Guards rifle, both squads actually pushing forward. T-34 taking some shots at that Panzer IV, doing some good damage on the frontal armor. Can he actually finish it off? Destroys the engine, and with the PTRS rifle shooting off, that Panzer IV is no longer for this world. And down goes the Pioneer squad, actually, that was supporting it. So heavy losses there for Blitz. Very nice pickup there for Ippert. He must be feeling very comfortable there. There's still a second Panzer IV on the field that Ippert is not aware of, which is, well, gonna get spotted by conscripts if he goes south. The Guards rifle are also going into the center, so they'll probably spot that Panzer IV. Panzer IV turns around, gonna take some shots at the Guard rifle, so it makes itself known. And the T-34 is currently getting repaired for Ippert. So far, it has gone very well in Ippert's favor. Panzer Grenades up north, Assault Grenades up north, another Veteran C3 squad. So far, so far. And yeah, I did say it, right? Yeah, it looks like this is called the disruptive color pattern. So yeah, very nice looking skin there. I likes. Up north, we see conscripts just pushing onto the sectors. They are going to meet that Panzer IV and be a little bit surprised. Assault Grenades engaging those Guard rifles. The Guard rifles need to throw a nade at them, but I think... No, they actually do have a grenade. Down goes the nade, right on top of the Assault Grenades, and boom, very nice damage. Down to 3 men, but they are forced off of the field at 1 man. Very lucky to be alive. Second Guards rifle are now getting bundle-naded by the Panzer Grenadiers, and they do retreat down to 3 men. But the T-34 is just there taking some shots. Conscripts up north, they do end up retreating at 2 men. Nice 18-8 goes on to the Panzer IV. The T-34 is behind the Panzer IV, taking some shots at the side armor. Can he actually finish off this Panzer IV? The Panzer IV is now facing its forward armor to it. Very nice hit there by the T-34. Panzer IV retaliates, brings it down to about 50% health. Can the T-34 actually finish it off? It all depends if it actually gets the crit. The penetration. Ooh, it didn't actually get the penetration there. Panzer IV takes a nasty shot. Down to a sliver of health. This T-34 is actually going to die to the Panzer IV. Can he make it out alive? He does make it out alive. And the engineers actually take a shot by the Panzer IV. Second T-34 on the field for Ippert. It looks like it's going to go hunt that Panzer IV, and now actually has a very nice shot of doing that. Panzer IV, well, I mean, Blitz is aware of it. Yeah, he's going to start moving. Can he make it out alive? T-34 taking some shots at those Assault Grenades retreating, and the Panzer IV is heading back home, trying to make it go. Can he make it out? It's going to turn itself around, trying to get some shots off at the T-34, but the T-34 is now on top of it. And, ooh, it misses. Needs to continue pursuing. This is Ippert's chance. And down goes the Panzer IV. Very nice Ippert there. So far, those T-34s have been absolutely incredible for Ippert. They've managed to do a lot of damage, killing 2 Panzer IVs. I mean, you don't usually count. I mean, at least I don't. I mean, you don't expect your T-34 to be able to kill the Panzer IV. I mean, mostly you would expect a one-for-one trade, you know, maybe trying to get a ram off and kill it some other way, because that way you can almost assure it's gonna get killed. But yeah, Ippert hasn't actually needed to do that with his guard rifle, and 18-8s have been superb and been able to, well, simply catch Blitz's Panzer IVs, well, in horrible positions for him and been able to kill it off. I mean, this Panzer IV over here was way too forward, essentially. Got 18-8'd and wasn't able to retreat. And this one was also over here, harassing conscripts that he knows can 18-8 him. And they're, well, I mean, in Blitz's defense, he didn't expect a second T-34, but, you know. Always expect the Spanish Inquisition. Anyways, conscripts over here in the frontal strategic point taking some beating. One retreats at 3 men, one retreats at 5. Vet 3 squad making Anna life quite nice. Two veteran C3 squads now for Ippert. Ooh, nasty shot there by the Panzer IV. Actually nailed one of those conscripts on the retreat. Guards rifle pushing away a Pioneer up north, actually managing to cut off the entire northern sector for Blitz. Or well, the remaining northern sector, I guess you could say. Down south, we see Assault Grens actually pushing away a Vet 3 conscript squad. Very nice. This is Vet 3 Assault Grens, though, so at Veteran C3, they are very tough because they have the increased armor and increased accuracy at Veteran C3, so they're very deadly. Both T-34s in the center of the map getting repaired by those combat engineers. This T-34 is now Veteran C2, very nice. At Veteran C2, it increases weapon damage and reduces the damage taken, so that T-34 is now a proper battle tank, essentially, a main battle tank. Guards Rifle getting harassed by these Assault Grens. Guards Rifle retreating in the face of the Assault Grens. They don't really want to have to deal with them. And Assault Grens down south just taking shots. Ooh, very lucky Pioneer squad retreating at 1 man in the face of those 2 T-34s. Panzer IV decides to back off. It sees that the T-34s are there and can't really deal with them. So Blitz is going to get himself a pack gun to be able to complement his Panzer IV. Very nice. Guard Rifle going for the northern victory point. More PPSA just getting purchased. Looks like we might have actually lost a conscript squad at one point because this is a vanilla conscript squad and we're still at 4. So at some point in one fight, one conscript squad ended up dying. So far, going pretty good for Ippert. Blitz is a little bit on the back foot, losing those 2 Panzer IVs. Assault Grens facing off against that vanilla conscript squad. Molotov landing on top of one of the Assault Grens, actually burning him alive. And the conscripts decide to run into the flames. They say, you know what? It's a little cold here, even though it's summer. And we're going to take a little dip in the fire. So a lot of them actually ended up burning alive, but still at 3 men, looks like they're going to be fine. Up north, we hear an engagement. Panzer Grenadiers against Vet 3 conscript. The Panzer Grenadiers now get Veteran C2, although they do end up with 1 man. But Veteran C2, those Panzer Grens are going to be quite deadly. Conscript squad ends up retreating. She's going back to heal up. And Assault Grens up north at Veteran C2. She's capturing that victory point. So victory point-wise, it's pretty even. 370 for Ippert, 395 for Blitz. So Blitz still holds a slight advantage in the victory points, but he has suffered a lot of losses, and he really only has 3 combat squads as opposed to 6 combat squads for Ippert. So, you know, he's outnumbered 2-1 in that front. T-34 is taking some shot at that Panzer IV. The Panzer IV actually ended up getting a damaged engine. Not exactly sure where that came from. T-34 is just pushing forward, getting shot by the... Oh! That is a very interesting choice there by Ippert. He decides to ram the Panzer IV, actually killing it very nicely. But he rams it with the Veteran C2. Ooh, and he's not going to lose it. Yeah, he's going to. I don't... Well, can he make it? No, no, shot goes off. Ooh, quite unfortunate for Ippert. So yeah, interesting choice. He sacrifices his veterans. Yeah, I mean, he had a vanilla one back there, but I guess, well, paid off a little bit, I suppose. He did end up killing that Panzer IV and actually cleared out that pack gun, which he could potentially either destroy or take. Assault Grens pushing forward on those combat engineers, capturing that strategic point. The engineers and the Guards Rifle decide to retreat completely. Assault Grens behind the lines, going up against that T-34. The T-34 turning its gun against it all the way around. Assault nades going down on the combat engineers. One of the combat engineers was on the other side of the tank, so it managed to shield itself from those nades, but it does have to retreat. And we have conscripts pushing on those Assault Grens. Nice Molotov landing on top of the Assault Grens. The Assault Grens are getting cooked alive. They are Veterans Tier 3, however, so they are able to take a lot of punishment. Vet 2 and 2-man conscripts, but forces or gets forced on the retreat, and the T-34 is going to back away. Stug getting produced for Blitz. He wants to have some type of armor on the field after losing his pack gun. Panzer Grants and Assault Grants mauling this Vet 3 conscript squad. The Vet 3 conscript squad ends up having to retreat, and the T-34 is still there. The pack gun is going to get recruited by those pioneers, so the T-34 needs to back off or suffer death. Does take a shot at the pack gun, but the pack gun does set up, and oh, very nice combo. Shot by the Stug and shot by the pack gun. The Stug actually gets the kill, and down goes that T-34. So now this turns it around against Ippert. Ippert is producing himself another T-34 to replace his losses, but yeah. That's why I was saying I was a little bit surprised on his decision to use the Vet 2 tank for the Ram, considering that that one would have been a little bit more hardy and able to take some shots. But again, hindsight is 2020. In this moment, he just made a split decision, a judgment call, and he did end up getting a kill on the Panther 4. So again, it's not all bad. So pack gun and Stug facing off against guards, rifle, and conscripts. We see the Stug actually getting buttoning down by the guards. We're going to see a guard rifle squad jumping into the house. Going to take some shots at all the infantry. We have 2 assault grants and Panzer Grenadiers right in front of all this infantry. PTRS rifles just going to town on the infantry, but we're probably going to see some bundle link going down on the house. Very nice. That's going to do a lot of damage. Down goes 3 guards rifle, and they jump out of the house. Probably going to have to retreat. Down to 2 men on the retreat, and a full rout for the Soviet forces. So Blitz being able to use... Ooh, the PTRS rifle actually gets dropped by those guards rifle. This could be a very nice pickup for... Well, it looks like he picked it up with Assault Grants. I might have actually gone with Panzer Grants, but yeah, I suppose that's fine. T-34 now in the field. It's going to go straight into the center. Looks like. No. Southern portion of the map going to start getting captured by... Sorry about that. Computer had a little bit of a hiccup there. Anyways, I was saying while the north is getting captured by Ippert with his combat engineers, actually, both of them. So his non-combat, even though they are called combat engineers, his non-combat squads, because none of them actually have flamethrower right now, just going north to capture territory. So very nice. Stug still on the field there for Blitz, moving up to capture territory. I'm just going to check one thing here to make sure that the hiccup there didn't stop anything. 2750. This territory is ours. We're going to stop this a little bit. There we go. We're going to make sure that it's a little bit lined up. Yeah, computer froze up a little bit, so the overlay got a little bit desynced. But I think we are good. There we go. We're good now. Okay, still not a lot happening as far as production goes, so I mean, it shouldn't really be that much of a problem. I'm actually gonna... Nah, never mind. It's fine. Shouldn't really affect it that much. So anyways, conscripts pushing into the center against that pack gun, actually forced the pack gun to back off. The Stug actually hit a mine, it looks like, and got its engine damaged. That is just standard engine damage. But the T-34s are able to flank that Stug very nicely. The Stug is in a very nice position, actually, with its back against a hedgerow, so it's not very easy to get behind it. But with 2 T-34s on either side, Stug goes down very quickly after taking another 18-8. Down goes the Pioneers, and the AT gun, did it get destroyed? Cleared out? What happened to the AT gun, actually? T-34 is just pushing north, gonna go against those Panzer Grenadiers. Could actually go for a rush if they wanted to, but the Panzer Grenadiers do end up retreating. And another pack gun is getting produced. Let's see if we're synced. Yeah, we're actually quite synced. There it goes. It showed up pretty much as soon as that, so we're good. Yeah, I think it might have actually gotten destroyed, but I can't see it. Oh, somewhere around here, but oh well, whatever. AT gun for Blitz did get destroyed, so he's producing another one for replacement. He is also producing himself another Stug, so he wants to have a counter for those T-34s on the field, or at least a deterrent, as I like to call it, because a Stug isn't directly a counter. The T-34 actually has a very nice of winning a one-on fight, unsupported fight against a Stug, because, well, he can circle strafe it while the Stug has to just face forward. If the Stug is maneuvered properly, you know, and backed up and keeping its gun facing forward, you know, it can actually win. So it's relatively even fight. It just depends on the circumstances, but Again, it's a deterrent. It's essentially a slightly more mobile pack gun, I guess you could call it. Very capable of destroying that T-34, but very possible for it to get circle straight. T-34 is heading south. They look like they're gonna harass the infantry units for Blitz that are currently capturing territory. Guards rifle taking a... no, actually throwing a nade, is what I'm trying to say, at those assault grants, and the assault grants are forced off of the field. They are veteran T3, however, so they are quite hardy. T-34 is chasing them down. Nice bundle nade by those Panzer grants over there, and the conscript squad at 3 men does end up retreating after capturing the territory. Very nice shot there by that T-34. Actually nails that assault grant, but though they make it out alive at 2 men. Center of the map, assault grants taking some shots by that T-34. Stug taking some shots at that T-34, down to about half health. Pack gun returns to the fire, and it's just standing there. It's going to go down. It actually misses. Stug's going to take another shot. Destroys the engine, but the second T-34 moves into intercept. Can he actually finish it off? He is going to get repaired. He's still crawling away. T-34 moves in to intercept that Stug and get in its way, but the Stug focuses on the back T-34 and takes it out. So, nice pickup there for Blitz. The Stug itself did get an 18-8 to the face, so it's very heavily damaged. Conscript over here just, well, not really nothing to fear against the AT gun, or the pack gun that is. And the Stug, Guards rifle pushing forward. What is the range of the bunkers? The bunkers have range all the way up here. But the infantry for Blitz is now back to full strength and are going to push forward, and the Stug did manage to get itself back into its own base, so it should be relatively safe. Guards rifle taking some shots, assault grants and panzer grants pushing forward. These are very, very capable anti-infantry killers. Molotovs and nades landing in between where the infantry is walking, but it doesn't actually manage to do a lot of damage. And we see another full rout for Ippert pushing his infantry away. T-34 getting repaired on the field. It is going to take some shots at this infantry if it pushes forward, but we now have that Ippert is in the lead with his victory points. We have 369 against 297. Still, you know, pretty close. A little bit, you know, less close than it was before. But, you know, anybody's game still at this point. Ippert still holding an advantage as far as infantry goes. And we now see him getting tier 4. Very interesting. So he decides to stop getting T-34s, gets himself a tier 4, and interesting choice. He was producing a an SU-85, but decides to cancel that and get himself a T-34 again. Interesting choice. Conscripts again pushing into the center. We have a one-man Panzer Grenadier squad needs to retreat off of the field or suffer getting itself killed. Assault grants at 2 men do end up retreating. Pack gun getting caught in the open, but it is very high health, so it should be able to make it alive. Stug taking some shots at that infantry, actually nails one of those conscripts, and the Pios, I should say, there. Assault grants pushing up north, and Ippert capturing down the south. Second T-34 now on the field for Ippert. We'll see if he decides to go for any heavier tank, getting something from tier 4. I mean, yeah, tier 4.
We will keep it.
Pack gun and Stug actually nailing the infantry, doing a decent job at actually killing infantry. So 6 infantry kill for that Stug, and this pack gun nailed one of those 2 infantry actually as well, and even killing one friendly infantry. So don't mess with it, I suppose. Combat engineers just repairing the T-34s, getting them up to full strength. 2-on-1 should be fine. There's a lot of fuel right now for Ippert. Not exactly sure what he's saving up for. I mean, he didn't want the SU-85 apparently, so we'll see what he decides to go with. T-34 taking a shot at that Stug. Stug returns shots and pretty much even as far as damage. Pack gun not. Once again, sorry, my computer seems to be freezing up. I thought I had, you know, fixed that, but it is not going well. I'm gonna have to check my computer again. So anyways, in the midst of that little hiccup of my computer, the 2 Stugs, I mean, the 2 T-34s for Ippert actually end up dying. So he lost both T-34s and didn't end up killing that Stug. The Stug now gets Veteran T2, getting those armored skirts on the side, very sexy, reducing the damage taken, so that's actually going to be quite capable of tanking even 2 T-34s, but we now see Ippert deciding to change gears and go for an SU-85. We'll see if he follows that up with anything else, maybe a SU-76, I don't know. Guards Rifle pushing forward, actually trying to potentially kill that Stug, but the Stug now has those armored skirts, so it's very, very easy for the Stug to actually stay alive and just tank that damage while returning the favor and doing damage to them. Guards Rifle themselves, though, are veteran C2, so they are able to take a lot of punishment. Assault Grens do end up having to retreat in the face of them. And one of these Guard Squad actually lost one of their PTRS rifles. Very nice shot there by the Stug, actually nails the Guards Rifle. And the Assault Grens get some kills on the retreat, but they are just going to move along the cap. Ippert, though, however, has pretty much the entire map in his possession, and that is simply because of his massive infantry advantage. Look at that, we have six combat infantry squads on the field, while Blitz only has 3 for his name. They are veteran C3 for Blitz, though, but there are 3 veteran C3s conscripts on the field and 2 veteran C2 Guards Rifle in the field for Ippert. So, I mean, you know, still very difficult for Blitz. Su-85 now on the field, might be trying to snipe that Stug, but the Stug is still back at base, still getting repaired. It does push forward at about 95% health, so it's going to be just fine. But we are going to see how this works out. Su-85 taking some shots at those Grens. The Grens do end up having to back off in the face of all those conscripts. That is all 4 conscripts, so it's right in the center. You could almost call it a blob, but he is spraying him out after the center. Sending him to the south. He knows that there are infantry squads down south. And with that veteran C3, they are emboldened and feel that they can take on the world. They go straight against those Grens. Grens doing some damage to the first squad. Down goes 1 Gren. Both squads doing a lot of damage. Down to 2 Grens. Down to 3 conscripts, actually, doing a lot of damage there. Down to 1 man on the retreat, and down goes an Assault Gren squad, and that was a Vet 3 Assault Gren squad for Blitz, so that is going to be a painful loss. He is producing another Panzer Grenadier squad to replace those. Molotov landing on this Assault Gren squad with the PTRS rifle, down to 2 men on the retreat. And a Panzer Grenadier squad comes right on top of both conscript squad, down to 2 men each, and they are forced off of the field. But they did do their job. Whoa, very nice shot there by the Stug. Actually nails that conscript and down to 1 man, but makes it out alive. The most rookie of the conscript squad pushes forward to throw a Molotov on that Pack-on. Pack-on is forced to back off. This Pack-on itself is actually veteran C2, and veteran C2 increases weapon damage, so it's a very significant threat to that Su-85. Nice Bontelay landing right on top of all the infantry, nailing a lot of them, and the Panzer Grenadiers are gonna be pushed away, while again all the infantry per Ippert decides to just vacate the field. 369 to 148 on the victory points. Blitz in a little bit of a dire situation. He doesn't have anything on the map or anything on the map controlled. That is what I'm trying to say. The victory point down south is in his possession. It isn't connected, but doesn't really matter there. Panzer Grens pushing or moving north. I mean south. Ah, my brain needs oxygen. There we go. Panzer Grens moving south to capture territory. Assault Grens moving to the center of the map. Ooh, very near shot. Actually almost hits that mine. Well, looks like he actually knew the mine was there and targets the ground and detonates that mine. Very nice there by Blitz. Very nice catching the mine, you know, being placed. And just infantry spreading all around. Teller mines laid down up north here for Blitz. Very nice there. And 240 fuel for Ippert. I'm not exactly sure what he's waiting for. I mean, I guess he's waiting to see if there's any additional vehicles on the field for Blitz. Blitz, for his part, didn't really get much. He might get another Stug maybe, but he's currently building Panzer Grenadiers to have more infantry on the field to be able to capture territory. Conscript pushing all the way up front onto the Stug. They're going to throw an 18-8 at it. There it goes. It actually gets a crit on the engine. And the AT gun gets cleared out, so the Stug is just going forward. I mean, well, not the Stug. The Su-85 is going forward against that Stug, trying to snipe it off. The Stug does back off out of range. The Su-85 needs to keep on moving forward. Panzer Grens and Assault Grens can't actually do much against that Su-85, so move it forward, Ippert. Get that kill. That Stug is very low in health, and if he can get that kill, he has one less thing to worry about. We now see a Sturmovik being called in against the infantry, and it does actually target. Oh, targets the Assault Grens and actually clears them out. Down goes the Stug for Blitz, so very heavy losses. He is now down to only Panzer Grenadiers. One of them is veteran C3, while 2 of them are vanilla. they are still capable of doing some damage, especially with those bundle lasers right on top of that Guards Rifle. Look at that damage. Very nice damage. Down to 4 men on this squad, and down to 2 on this one. Thermal big attacks just landing everywhere, but not doing a lot. And we see another Stug getting produced for Blitz. Huh. You can't help but feel that that is not the correct choice, since you know that there is an SU-85 on the field. I mean, there's an SU-85 on the field. A Panzer IV is a dicey option, but it's, I guess you could say, a correct option for Tier 3, because you have the chance of maybe outmaneuvering the SU-85 and killing it. A Stug has to basically go to toe-to-toe with an SU-85, and the SU-85 is going to beat a Stug hands down every time. So I'm not sure why he's going for a Stug, but well, he's going for a Stug. Panzer Grenadiers pushing in force against that conscript squad. Actually gets it down to 1 man, but the, oh my god, the Sturmovik actually gets a nice strafing run on both of them. Clears out the veteran C2 Panzer Gren and gets the other one down to 1 man. Heavy losses there for Blitz. I don't know how he can really come back from that anymore. We shall see what ends up happening. So, combat engineers up north, fighting against those Pios. Combat engineers actually have a flamethrower, so they have a very good chance of winning that fight. And they do. The Pios end up retreating, and the combat engineers are going to start capturing territory. We now see T-34s hitting the field for Ippert. He realizes that he killed the Stug, which was veteran C2, so he figures, well, I should have the advantage right now as far as tanks. T-34s are a decent main battle tank. They are capable against infantry. Honestly, though, T-70s would probably be the better... Sorry. T-70s would probably be the better option, I feel, in this situation. Simply because you can use them to harass the capping infantry. And that is currently what Blitz is suffering in, because he is very low in victory points right now, and he's not able to capture most of the map. So if you see infantry capturing territory, you know, on the edges, you can send T-70s very quickly to chase them off and even kill them on the retreat, while still having that SU-85 capable of shutting down that Stug. But T-34s are not a bad choice. They are, like I said, main battle tanks essentially, so they're capable of dealing with infantry. You know, they're just not amazing at it, like, say, a Flak Panzer or a T-70. Both Panzer Gren squads fighting against that conscript squad. Nice bundle later on top of the conscripts. Actually gets 2 nice kills. Down to 1 man to that Panzer Gren squad. Ends up retreating. T-34 takes a shot in the face by that AT gun, and more Guards Rifles just right on top of these P-Grens. If they actually land the nade on this one, no, they do retreat. Nade on the pack gun would actually be a nice choice there, but the pack gun is now going to pack up and move off. Get it? The pack gun is going to pack up. Yeah, it's so funny. Anyways, conscript is capturing territory, so yeah, I mean, Blitz is pretty much just limited to his own sector of the map. Conscript pushing, Guards Rifle pushing forward, landing a nade right on top of the AT gun, but it looks like it actually landed in front of the gun itself, so it shielded the infantry quite nicely. Nice shot there by the SU-85, almost nails that that Stug, and ooh, that shot actually missed. The Stug is just sitting there. It's gonna take the shots. No, the SU-85 backs off. It doesn't want to risk getting itself killed. Nice shot there by the Stug. The SU-85 actually nails one of those Pios. And the Guards Rifle are just pushing forward, actually trying to get the kill on the Stug. Can they actually get it? This Guard Squad, though, is the one with only 1 PTRS. So it is not as capable. And down goes the man with the PTRS. And they end up retreating, so the Panzer Grens are actually going to pick that up, it looks like. T-34 pushing forward. He's going to go straight for the Stug. Can he actually do that? If he goes for a ram, he can actually do that quite easily. But it looks like he's actually going to opt for the Circle Strafe, which is obviously the more sensible choice, considering that the Stug was so low in health, and down goes the Stug. Nothing in the base here for Blitz to be able to deal with these T-34s. And I think that's it, and yeah, that is it. He decides to call it quits. Panzer Grens were already battered, down to 1 man on this one. There's also another 2 man around here. Where is it? There's a 1 man squad right there. And can't actually see the other squad. I'm gonna switch over a little quick. Just want to make sure that it's there. Where's the 2-man squad? Oh, it's down here. Wow, I'm blind. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty nice game. Yeah. Anyways, guys, sorry for the constant glitching there on my computer. I'm gonna have to do something about that again. I thought I had fixed that, but unfortunately my computer just doesn't seem to want to cooperate. But anyways, that is, well, my problem, not yours. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day.